Hello, this is the Timeless Tarot, and today's reading is going to be for the sign of Sagittarius for the next 4 to 6 weeks ahead. I've laid out my favourite spread, and we're going to start by looking at the bottom of the deck. Well, that's nice. That's Queen of Coins. This is knowing your own worth. That's going to be the theme of the whole reading, probably, is you knowing your own worth. What is and isn't good for you and what you will and won't stand for. That's what that feels like to me anyway. Yeah, I might just take another card to go with her. And the card that's come with her is a Knave of Cups. So this could be a love offer, a love letter, it could be an apology, a small love token even, a message of love. Or it could be Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, child. By the way, these cards are very beautiful. I'm using the Tattoo Tarot today. This is potentially sending yourself a love letter. If you've been working on your self-worth, or you've started recognising that you are worth more than what you're currently receiving, then potentially being kind to yourself is a good way to start the process of knowing your self-worth. So if you haven't started that process yet, then start off by being kind to yourself, saying nice things to yourself. Try very hard to stop saying horrible things to yourself or being impatient with yourself or cross with yourself. It's really important to be kind to yourself. Yeah, that feels like a big thing for somebody. You know, sometimes in life, especially if you've been in long relationships or marriages or even jobs and families, you can lose a sense of self and you can become what other people think you are. So this is sort of like getting to know yourself again through the process of being very kind to yourself first. Yeah, lovely. Wow. That's a beautiful start, I would say. Right, so what's in the centre of the whole situation? We have the Four of Coins. This is a sort of prideful card. It's not about you being proud, but it's about clinging on to things that you think are good for you in a prideful way. So situations that don't work anymore, but you're too proud to hold your hands up and say, actually, this isn't working. It's that sort of thing. So if you're in a relationship that's not working, but maybe, you know, well, I don't like to say this, but maybe you jumped into a relationship rather quickly with somebody and maybe other people told you it was too soon. It could be pride that is stopping you from giving up a situation that is not good for you. Hopefully that analogy makes sense, because or you could apply it to a job situation actually. Maybe you left a long-term good placement for something that seemed better, and now you're having to reassess and you're feeling like actually it's not better and you wish you hadn't gone in the first place. And so it is pride that could be stopping you from changing a situation that is no longer good for you. That is what that is. And what is crossing that is the Devil. And that's also a very, well, it's not really pride, it's more like control. You could be exerting a huge amount of control over yourself. Yeah, that's the theme here. You know, if we're going to talk about opposite energies, then the Devil and the Queen of Coins are total opposites. This is knowing and loving yourself, and this is controlling yourself, controlling behaviour. So you really need to try and stop. These cards are quite resistant cards, I would say. So what is stopping you from moving on from a situation that you've outgrown is your pride, your sense of self-control, and the level of control that you exert over yourself. I don't think you're a controlling person with anybody else. I think this is just you. I think you expect a lot of yourself. And I think it is that element that is stopping you from moving on from a bad or a situation that's not as good as it once was for you. It feels like this is a situation you have outgrown. The other thing to say about the Devil is it can be obsession. It can also be Capricorn. So it could be that if you want to move on from a situation, there is a Capricorn standing in your way who is blocking your path. Yeah, that's That's a distinct possibility. On the face of it, yes, you're ready for a change. This is looking out into the wider world, waiting for your ships to come in. But I feel in this case, it's more of a 2 to 3 wands rather than a full 3 wands. This is assessing your options, seeing what's out there, and working out what is going to be right for you. What works for you, what doesn't work for you, how you can make your life better. Yeah, that really feels like you need to make your life better in some way. But it all starts with self-love and knowing your own worth. Yeah. What's underneath is the 2 of Swords. So what's not clear, possibly even to yourself, is that you are choosing to do something differently. You have made the choice that has put you in the life you're currently in. You made it as an unconscious choice. Yes, you have chosen to have the life you've got, but I wonder if you were given the opportunity again, if you would not make the change that you've made. That has been, I feel like the change that you made might have been a bit hasty, potentially. That's what that feels like, because this is choosing, but this is in the hidden position. So, or it could be that you're choosing, yeah, actually, it could be that you're choosing a path that's not good for you and you haven't realised it yet. That does really sound like a thing to me. You're choosing a path that is not good for you and you have not recognised it yet. Or you've chosen a path and now you are beginning to recognise that it is not, you did not make the best choice. And that is why you are in this position of clinging on to the choice you've made, even though it's not the best choice for you. On some level or other, you know it's not the best choice for you. But it's sort of, I've made my bed, I'll have to lie in it feeling. Yeah, maybe I wouldn't do this again if I had got a chance to redo it. But I've done it now and I'm rolling with it and, got to make the best of things. Really, I have to say that if we go back to the Queen of Coins at the start, if in your heart of hearts you have made a choice that has not been good for you, then the case of making your bed and lying in it would not be the right one. Because what would be the right approach would be what is best for yourself now and moving forward. I mean, don't stay in a situation because that is bad for you because it's easier. That would be the wrong choice. It's that sort of feeling. Or don't stay in a situation that you've chosen to put yourself in because you don't want to lose face and say, actually, I've made a mistake. That would not be best for you. And I also feel like it might not be best for other people. I mean, potentially you've got children involved here as well. So what is best for you is also what is best for your children. So you really need to reassess. This is going to be a reading about recognising what it is you want, what it is you're worth, and reassessing whether or not you're in the right position currently. That's what it feels like. Going back to the 2 of Swords, I've taken 2 extra clarifiers, and we have the Knave of Swords, which is a card of communication. Normally, it's another child card, so it could be Aquarius, Gemini, Libra child, but it's also electronic communication, so texts and emails, and if you're on any dating sites, it would be that sort of thing. So the virtual communication rather than the personal communication. So maybe you were persuaded to make a wrong choice by something you read, you saw online, or maybe there's something like that. And the other one we took to go with it, and this is what is making me think that the choice is not the right one for you. We have the 5 of Pentacles. And the 5 of Pentacles is the card of lack, not having what you want, not having your dreams come true. And the reason I said that just now is because it feels like the dream you once had for the life you are currently living should have been better than the reality that you're actually living. That's what it feels like. I feel like I think you might have been sort of led into believing this situation would be better for you, and it isn't panning out that way, and now you're stuck with a very hard choice to make, a choice that you are not comfortable making, but is going to be better for you and potentially any children you have as well in the longer term. Oh dear. Right, well that's quite a thing to be talking about. One other thing to mention here, we've got the Four of Coins in the centre. Following on now, we have the Five of Coins. So the situation, which is progress, and it's good to have progress. So the situation that you are currently feeling stuck in is evolving into something that is actually making you feel a little bit worse than stuck. But you know, in life, you have to go with the ups and downs. And in fact, you have to go right down before you can come back up. And that's what it feels like. It feels like you're in the process of, I don't want to say you're hitting rock bottom, but I feel like you're fearing you're hitting rock bottom. That's what it feels like, that you're fearing it. Because this is underneath. This is not what you're telling other people. This is not what other people can see at all. This is hidden. This is just you that can feel this, or see this, or sense this, or know this. In fact, actually, I think you know this. You know that the choice you made was not the right one, and pride and self-control are stopping you from moving things forward, even though you're sensing that things are actually going to feel a lot worse for you in the future. In the past position, we have the Knight of Coins. So this could be Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, male, who might have shown you interest, or you might have been in a relationship with. If we talk about a situation, it's very slow moving energy. And this is what I was saying before about making hasty decisions. Perhaps you felt that your life was not exciting enough. I think in the past you felt your life was not exciting enough. And so you've made a hasty decision to move to something that you thought was going to be better for you, which is not really panning out that way. And you are worried about potentially getting yourself out of this situation. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, I mean, I can understand that, because Sagittarius is an adventurous sign. And so if your past was feeling dull or boring, then I think perhaps you would, you would. I can see why you'd have been persuaded to change things. And that, again, it could relate to a job or a work situation, a family situation, or a relationship. In the future, we've got the Libra card. Now, at the start, I think I said that this reading is for the next 4 to 6 weeks. Well, that will take us to Libra season, which is quite nice that those two are tying up. So potentially there could be quite a big change in the next 4 to 6 weeks, is what I feel. Or maybe you're going to be coming to an actual decision by the time we get to the end of September. This is also legal, so you could have something going on in court, which is going to be either started in the next 4 to 6 weeks, or will be completing in the next 4 to 6 weeks. Actually, I might get a clarifier for that. What have we got justice in the future position for? Oh, heck, there's an awful lot of cards came out then. So I can't read all of those, but we've got 2 10s though, regardless of what else is behind. Actually, I will have a quick look at all of them. We've got 10 of Cups. That's a happy ever after. We've also got 10 of Swords. That's feeling defeated. So that's slightly odd if we're talking about a legal situation. How are you going to have a happy ever after and feel defeated at the same time? Not possible. So it must mean a big change. We've also got the 3 of Swords, which is the card of heartbreak, and death. Wow. My goodness, we're definitely going to have to read these cards now I've seen what they are. So just to remind you, we're clarifying what is the future, what is going on in the future, and I thought it could be something legal. Potentially, if it is something legal, I don't see how we can have heartbreak, defeat, major change, and a happy ever after all at the same time. That's quite complicated. I mean, the one that came first was the 10 of Cups. So I'm going to read it that if you are in a legal situation, then you are going to get a happy ever after. Now, I'm not going to say the outcome you wanted, because I'm not sure that's true. with the other cards. The outcome is going to be good for you. It might not be what you think you want. That's probably the best way of putting it. And what you think you want, I think you might have, if potentially you could be coming out of a heartbreaking situation. But the thing I want to say here, and I really don't want to offend any of you, you know, I love Sagittarians. I've got a lot of Sagittarians in my life. But it feels to me like you managed, somehow or other, you managed to break your own heart. Maybe, oh, and see what I was saying before about being hasty. Maybe you were too quick to give up on a situation. Oh, God. And that's how you're finding yourself in the position you're in now. You've somehow or other, you've broken your own heart. It is going to be all right because we've got this happy outcome. It is going to be all right. Let's put that one down. And then these two cards are huge change. They're slightly different from one another. The Ten of Swords is a card of being defeated. It means that, do you remember I was saying you've got to hit rock bottom first? And I feel like that's what this card is talking about. It's literally like you can do no more. That's it. You've done the absolute worst to yourself that you could possibly do. And you are on the floor crying your eyes out. That's that sort of feeling. But just to remind you, sorry Sagittarius, but just to remind you, you have got the happy ever after card. So if you are in a situation where you've broken your own heart and you're regretting it hugely and you're terribly unhappy and unsure about what to do, and the thing is this, it's not that you're unsure, you know what to do, you just don't want to do it. But potentially if you're in that position, oh sorry, that's the Death card. Potentially if you are in that position with the Ten of Swords, did I have those cards the wrong way around the whole time? I might have done. So in that case, I'm going to read them together because then I was getting them muddled up, I think. But because I was getting them muddled up, maybe today they are the same energy. Card of feeling defeated and the card of sweeping change. So it's like, I think the best way to say it is like the absolute worst has happened to you. And yes, you've done it to yourself. You've brought it about yourself. You've made a situation that you don't like anymore, whether that be love or whether that be work or even where you live. Maybe you've moved to a country and you don't like it, but you don't feel like you can move back and because you'll lose face. It's that sort of feeling. So if the absolute worst has already happened, okay? And then, oh, I'm doing it again. The absolute worst has already happened and you will move forward from that position into something much better, particularly if you are in a legal situation. And also, yeah, in the next 4 to 6 weeks. I'm not sure that you'll make any major changes in the next 4 to 6 weeks, but I think you might make up your mind that you're going to make the changes. If I put it this way, you're going to decide what to do about the situation you're in the next 4 to 6 weeks. That's the best way to put it. And the outcome is going to be good for you. It might not be what you want or what you think you need, but it is going to be the best outcome for you at this time. And so actually I'm planning on doing horoscope readings every 4 to 6 weeks. So next reading for you, Sagittarius, I would like to think that we're going to find a bit of progress. So it might not seem like you've got what you want right now, but you are going to get it in the future because that's the future position. In the personal position, we have the Six of Cups. This is the soulmate card. It's also the card of nostalgia and long-term friendships. In terms of situation, it can be a timing card for me, this one, which would mean 6 months, actually. So if we were going back to when things are going to be better for you in the future, we could be looking at 6 months' time. It's the potential to heal your heart is here. So if you're feeling a bit heartbroken, which I think we've established that you might be, then the potential to heal from that is happening. But don't forget that it starts with you being kind to yourself and not beating yourself up about the situation you find yourself in. You know, just we all make mistakes in life. And if you've made a mistake, there's no point berating yourself about it. Just accept that you've made the mistake and start to plan the move forward. And this says that you are going to. Although I do think you're thinking about the past a lot and potentially how it was better than you thought it was at the time. Now, you've got to be a little bit careful with that. If you're being nostalgic, that's one thing, but you don't want to rewrite the past. And, you know, if you've moved out of a situation because it wasn't making you happy. So thinking that going back to the situation because it was better than where you are now, that's something you can do. But don't forget, the situation as it was not making you happy. So don't start deluding yourself that you need to go back because that was, you know, that's when you were blissful. It might be better than where you are now, but you weren't blissful there because you wouldn't have tried to move. So just be a little bit careful about that. The home position, we have the Knight of Wands. This is a fire sign male or masculine, and it could be that you want a bit more fun in your life. This is the card of the flirty knight, because the Knight of Coins is the slow knight that can't make up his mind. The Knight of Cups is the sincere knight who's got a love offer. Knight of Swords is in and out like a flash, and this one is the one who's here for a good time, but not necessarily a long time. So if you're dating, just be mindful of what it is you're actually looking for. Be aware of your boundaries. And it's back to knowing yourself and valuing yourself. Don't be letting people in to use you, because I don't think they're going to stay around. So you've got to be clear in your own mind. If you are just having fun with somebody and that's where it ends, great. Just don't become too attached to this sort of masculine energy. Yeah, potentially he's not going to set up home with you, is the feeling. The hopes and fears position, we have the Four of Wands. Well, this is fabulous. Links in very nicely with the Ten of Cups and also with the Justice card, because this is the card of getting what you want. This is the card of victory. And you've got it in your wishes coming true position. So you're either hoping that you're going to be victorious over this situation, and you are, or you're fearing that you won't be victorious. So get rid of that fear. There is no fear here. This is wishing for victory and getting it. It's lovely. Oh, also, as well, it's a twin flame card for me. So if you're not familiar with that, that talks about a very strong soul connection. And potentially then that's what you're hoping for. That's what you're hoping to find. Can I just remind you, you won't be finding it with this particular masculine. I'm sorry to say. He's not the one. But that's really good news. You have got a really good outcome. I think things feel difficult at the moment and you feel a bit up in the air, and you're starting to realise that you need to make a change, and the idea of the change is difficult, awkward, embarrassing, upsetting, potentially destructive as well. Although we don't have the Tower here, we did have Death. And so you are starting to feel, and that's probably, I can't remember what I said about Death, but that's probably what Death symbolises, a sweeping change. So this feeling of unease, or that you need to make a change, or that you've made the wrong decision, that is starting to wash over you. It's sort of coming over you like a bit like a veil. You're starting to recognise it. And as you start to recognise it, so you will implement the changes that are going to come in. The outcome card, we have the Empress, which is, oh my God, I'm so happy, plus strength. And the reason I'm so happy is that knowing your own worth is going to bring you everything you want. These two cards are very close together in terms of self-improvement. So all the while you're knowing your own worth, you are building all of your strength back. Don't forget, you're being kind to yourself, which is developing your self-worth, which is improving your strength. And actually, weirdly, it could be that you're physically trying to make yourself stronger as well. I think mentally and emotionally you will be developing your strength, but it might be a physical thing also. And the reason why you're doing all this is to be in your best feminine energy. The best feminine energy that you can be in is the Empress. Wow, this is amazing reading. I'm going to put the Strength and the Knave of Cups down and just talk a little bit more about these two cards. In terms of progression, you can't get any better. The knowing yourself, the being kind to yourself, the recognizing what is and isn't good for you, what you will and won't accept, who is potential long-term material, who isn't, whether you're just looking for fun or you want a relationship, whether you're in a situation of your own making that you are beginning to recognize is not right for you. Regardless of all of that, the progression from Queen of Coins into the Empress shows that even if the situation at the moment feels insurmountably difficult, and it might for some of you, I think it's just creeping in. For some of you, you've not recognized it yet. For the very intuitive ones amongst you, it's starting to dawn on you that you need to change the situation you're in. And that is brilliant because you're moving into your absolute best energy. And this is happening in the next 4 to 6 weeks. It is going to be gradual, but it is sweeping because we had the Death card. It's sweeping on through. I think once you've recognized what it is you need to change, and that you need to change things, I think it's going to rush on through. And I think it's almost going to sweep you're sort of going to sweep yourself off your feet. Yeah, I like that. That is exactly what it feels like. And I'm going to bring the Strength card back in. It might be, and I do think this for some people, it could be that you've been very busily working on yourself in a physical way, or maybe in a mental way. And it's a bit of a funny thing to say, but maybe you've been learning more to improve your knowledge, or you've been training your brain to be more intelligent, or it's something like that. You might have been doing that. And you also might have been training your body to become stronger, fitter, maybe even healthier. And both of those things are really, really good. But what I want to say next is it's really important that you are working on your self-worth. It's all very well looking better and feeling better and being stronger in body and mind. That's great, wonderful. But you have got to be nice to yourself. You have got to recognize that you've got boundaries. You have got to put them in place. You have got to acknowledge that you know best for you. And you have to implement some of those changes in order to keep improving your self-worth. It doesn't matter how physically strong you get if you still think that if you feel worthless. There's no good building I think the building of your body is a great thing because it's going to make you physically stronger, but you have to work on your self-worth. If you feel worthless or empty inside or lacking, or you think you're an idiot, or you keep constantly telling yourself off for doing things wrong, or you're very self-critical, if you're any of those things, then the change is not going to be as sweeping. It's not going to be as soon either. So in order to get to the Empress, it's imperative that you either start working on your self-worth or you continue to work on your self-worth in order to be able to sweep yourself off your feet, get the happy outcome, and get into your very best feminine energy. Wow, this was a powerful reading, Sagittarius. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe so that I can read your energy more easily in the future, which will help me to do more accurate readings for you. If you would like a personal reading, my information is in the description box below. But until the next time, this has been the Timeless Tarot. Goodbye.